And we will get started. And we'll make our way over to our mats if you're not already there. And I generally say you can start sitting up or lying down. I know some people have a preference for one over the other, so you can do whichever feels better for you this morning. I think I am going to begin lying down. So if you're sitting up, just root your sitting bones down, sit up nice and tall, rest your hands comfortably wherever they are most comfortable. If you're lying down, take a moment to maybe consider putting a little support under your head if that's more comfortable. Have your feet on the floor to provide a little support for your low back. Really plant your feet so that you feel that their connection to the ground. Feel the weight, the heaviness in your low back. And then just let the weight of your head rest back. Feel the contact of the back of the head resting onto the floor. Your eyes could be closed, or you could have them slightly open if that's better for you. But as you arrive here now, begin to bring your awareness to the feeling of being where you are. So feel what it feels like to be in your body right now. Your body is on your mat, in the space that you're in the present moment. Just focus on what it feels like to be here now, where you are. And as you're here now, begin to connect with the feeling of your breathing. So feel what it feels like to invite a deep breath in and down. And then feel what it feels like to allow your breath to release and empty out. So feel the fullness of your breath. Let that in-breath expand into your lungs, into your ribs. Feel how the diaphragm pushes down into the belly. And then allow that exhale to fully empty and release. And notice the movement in the body as that happens, as you exhale fully. And just dive into this experience of breathing with your mind and your body. Recognizing how fortunate we are to be able to breathe, to be able to have this moment. Take some time to recognize all the positive qualities that you have in your life right now. You know, in addition to having this time to practice, think about the good things, the beauty of this day, the good things in your life, the people, the experiences. Just take a moment to reflect on the wonderful abundance that we have. Sometimes we find ourselves focusing on the negative. Let's just breathe in and recognize some of the good things that we have in our life. The people, the experiences, the moments, the beauty. Let's see if we can practice this morning with that lens of positivity, noticing what's right or what's good, rather than noticing the lack or the things that aren't right or that we don't perceive as good. Let's see if we can focus our awareness this morning on the positive. So as you take your next breath in, let's go ahead and open our eyes and begin by taking our feet off the floor, just grabbing onto the front of the knees and hugging them into chest and gently swaying a little bit side to side to kind of loosen up and massage your low back. And then sway to center and draw your knees apart, taking a breath in, opening up. How does that feel? And then pressing your knees back in. And let's lift our legs up in the air, releasing our arms at our side, and just alternate flexing and pointing your feet here. Loosening up the feet, the ankles, the backs of the legs. Maybe circle the feet around in one direction and circle in the other way. Great. Let's bend our knees and release the feet to the floor. And as you're here, with your feet on the floor, with your back on the floor, with your head on the floor, take a moment to notice the natural alignment of your spine, right? So most of us have a little curve in the low back. We have that neutral alignment of the spine. It's not, the low back is not pressing down into the floor. There's just a little ease or space in the low back, between the low back and the floor. So from that neutral spine position, can you lift one foot off the floor and keep that neutral spine? Don't let the back press into the floor. And then release that foot down. And then do that with your other foot. Lift your knee up and put it back down. So the idea here is to bring a knee up without letting the back flatten down. And then lower that foot down and lift your other knee up. So it's not too hard to maintain that neutral spine, lifting one leg at a time. What if we were to lift both knees up? Can you maintain that little curve in your low back as both knees come up and as both feet come down? So as we do this here, we're getting the low belly to work, to do the action of lifting the legs up and lowering the feet down. And if we keep that neutral curve, we're going to do more work to focus on the low belly, a little less action in the hip flexors, which is what we're trying to do here, target the low belly. So let's do that a couple more times, bringing the knees up and lowering the feet down, and bringing the knees up and lowering the feet down. So we're waking up the low belly here. Let's do this 2 more times. Noticing how it feels to keep that neutral curve in the low back. The next time the feet go down, you can leave them down. And then let's go ahead and lift the head up and clasp our hands under our head, letting the weight of the head rest into the hands, elbows wide. We'll take a breath in, and as we exhale, let's begin to draw the low ribs down into the belly, knit the ribs down into the belly, and let that action begin to lift up your head. Yeah, maybe your shoulders come a little bit up as well. And then lower yourself back down and breathe in. So as you exhale, knit your low ribs down and in, and let that action help to lift up your head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe look kind of beyond your knees, and then inhale and lower back down. So we're waking up the upper belly here, knitting the ribs, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, and then lowering back down. So we can keep the hands behind the head as we do this, or as we curl up, we could take the arms and reach them forward, kind of above the knees. And then you could support your head as you go back down, or you could just keep the arms forward, knitting the ribs, reaching forward, and then lowering back down, breathing in. Again, knitting to curl up and reach, and inhaling back and down. Now, if your arms are forward, bring your hands together, and as you curl up, maybe reach a little higher than your knees this time. Inhale back and down, knit and curl up. Inhale back and down. Let's do 2 more like this. Knitting the ribs. Can we get those shoulders off the floor? And inhale back. Last one here. Exhale, knit and reach. And then this time as your head goes back down, you can bring your hands again behind your head. We're going to bring our feet off the floor, knees over hips. And now let's extend one leg out. And then that same leg that's extended, we're going to curl up and bring that elbow across to the opposite knee. And then as the knee comes back, we'll inhale and release the head. Let's curl up, extend the other leg and twist across, and then bring the knee in and lower the head. Exhale, curl up, twist across as the leg extends. Inhale back and down, and continuing like that. So as you twist across, we often think about elbow to knee to do that twisting motion. Can you think about bringing that opposite rib cage to the opposite thigh? So let that twist come a little more from your midsection and not just from your neck. Curl up and twist from your midsection and lower back down. Curl up and twist from the midsection. Let's do a few more of these. Twisting across and lowering down. Twisting across, lowering down. Last one here. Nice work. Go ahead, release your head, release your feet. Let's roll to the side here now. And as you come on to your side, you can take your bottom arm and just let your head rest on your arm. You could slide a pillow under there too if that's better. Let's bring the knees forward, stacking one knee on top of the other. The knees are parallel, so the hips are stacked one on top of the other. Can you keep your hips in this alignment as you take that top leg and extend it out? So try not to let that hip roll back. Try to keep your hips stacked. And as that leg is straight, get your heel a little higher than your foot and lift the leg up and lower it back down. Lift it up. So we're gonna just start to wake up the outer hip here and start to create some work in the outer thigh and the outer hip. So as we're doing this movement, we're gonna breathe. We're gonna notice, we're gonna feel. How does it feel to do this movement? How does it feel to breathe as we're doing this movement? And what feels good about this? What is the positive aspect of being here now, doing this leg lift? We could think about how this might be challenging, or you can feel this, and maybe you think it doesn't feel great, but just think about the positive effect of building strength in the hip and the knee. So now let's try circling the leg around. I know you're all here because you made the positive decision to come to class today. Nice job. Good for you. Let's circle in this direction one more time, and then we'll circle the other way. Feels good to move, to get a little stronger, to understand how the body works. Just to appreciate our ability to move. All right, one more circle. And then that leg can rest on the other leg. Now I want you to straighten your legs. Take this arm that was under your head and you're gonna wrap your waist. Take the top arm and bring the hand down in front of your shoulder, right? Kind of in front of your upper arm. And we're gonna try and push up with that top arm and then lower down. So we're targeting that upper arm that's pushing into the floor. We're targeting the tricep and the shoulder, pushing up and lowering down. Pushing up takes a little work in that side waist as well. Yeah, so let's do 4 more of these. Pushing up and lowering down. Pushing up and lowering down, pushing up. Last one here, push yourself up. Nice work. All right, we're gonna push ourselves up now and swing our legs around to the other side So we can do that all on the other side. So lower yourself down and let your head rest on your bottom arm. Bring your knees forward. So your knees are parallel. Can you keep your hip right there as you take that top leg and extend it out? And then heel a little higher than the foot. We're just going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Find your breath here. Focus on this movement and how it's feeling in your body. Breathe in. Just appreciation, gratitude for your ability to be here now. Let's do 2 more leg lifts. And then we'll do that circling of the leg. Circle it around. Again, trying to keep the hips steady here. So the movement is in the leg. The hip stays stacked right over the other hip. Yeah, and then let's circle the leg the other direction. Nice. Feeling that upper thigh bone moving in the hip socket. All right, let's bring that knee down to rest. And then we're going to straighten the legs, more or less. This arm that's under our head, we're going to wrap it around the waist. The other hand, we're going to place it in front of the upper arm. And then we're just going to push up and then lower back down. Push up and lower back down. Just a different way to do a push-up. Works a little more into the tricep, but you might feel it in your shoulder, in your side waist. We do 4 more here. So if your legs are a little bit straight, makes it a little more challenging. There's 2 more. There's 3 more. Last one here. Nice work. Let's make our way around to all 4s. And as we come onto all 4s, take a moment to feel your hands on the floor. Spread that weight into the thumbs, the fingers, the knuckles. Get your knees right under your hips and feel the line of your spine nice and long, that neutral spine again. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to round your tailbone down. Let that rounding continue through your spine as you push into your hands and drop your head. Maybe take your hips a little bit back to feel that rounding a little bit differently. And then rock forward, return to your long neutral spine. Start to tip the tailbone up and drop the belly and chest. Draw the heart forward. Inhale, look forward. And then come back to neutral spine. Do that again, just round in any way you like. You can do a little side to side motion if you like, or front to back. And then transition into arching or extending your spine. Again, moving shoulders or hips or whatever you like as you do that last cow pose. And then from here, take one leg and extend it back through your heel. And then draw that knee up and in towards your chin. And then extend that leg back, press out through the heel, and then draw that knee up and in. 2 more times. Extend back through the heel and draw the knee up and in. Extend back through the heel and draw the knee up and in. This time as you extend that leg back, take the opposite arm and reach it forward. Press out through your heel, reach out through your fingertips, lengthen through the crown of your head. Breathe in and out here. And then release that hand and knee down. Let's do the other side. Press out through the heel and then draw the knee up and in. Press out through the heel and draw the knee up and in. Couple more. As the knee draws up and in, lift up in the belly. Pressing back, lengthening, and then curling up and under. Last time like that, drawing the knee up and in. And then this time as the leg goes back, take the opposite arm and reach it forward. Can you lengthen from your heel to your fingertips, from your heel to the crown of your head, as you take one more deep breath in and out? And then hand comes down, knee comes down. Let's go ahead and sit back into child's pose. So sitting back as far as your knees allow, and then letting your forehead drop toward the floor. If it doesn't quite reach, stack one arm on top of the other. Let your forehead rest on your bent arms, or you could stack one fist on top of the other. Let your forehead be supported as you arrive here. Take a big breath into your upper back. Allow the breath to release and empty. Do that again. Big breath in and let it go. Then lift your head up and reach your arms out in front. Let's just bring the hips forward and lower it all the way down onto belly. Making our way to prone position here. Slide the heels of your hands back by your low ribs. Let your chest sink into the floor. I'm just going to adjust my camera. I'm afraid you can't see me that well. So let your chest sink into the floor. And let your nose smush down. And then feel your shoulder blades. Kind of slide them up a little, slide them down a little. Let them find that central point where they tend to land. And then from right between the shoulder blades, start to lift your chest up, start to pull your heart forward as the heel of your hands presses back into a low baby cobra, and then lower yourself back down. Let's do that again. Start to lift the chest up, start to pull the heart forward, and then lift your hands up, lift your elbows up and hug those elbows in toward your midline. And then release your hands, release your chest. You could keep your hands down this time, starting the same way. Start to lift the chest up, pull the heart forward. You could stay low, or you could continue coming up a little higher into a cobra. And then lower yourself back down. Let's push ourselves up and take the hips back, curl the toes under, and make our way up to downward facing dog. Letting the hands really root down now. Draw the hips up and back. Release your head. Shake it out a little bit. Bend one knee and press the other heel down. Bend that knee and press the other heel down. Alternate again. Bending and pressing. And bending and pressing. And then bend both knees a bit. Draw the hips way up and back. Deep breath in and out here. Then walk your hands back towards your feet. Lower your heels down. End up folded over bent knees. Take a big breath into your upper back. As you exhale, just let that breath release. Knees can be soft here, or legs could be a little straighter, whatever you like. Let's take another breath in. And as this breath empties out, start to draw your belly in and start to roll yourself up. Knees are soft here. As you slowly roll up, start to stack your vertebrae, one on top of the other, eventually bringing your head up. As you root your feet down, take your arms out. Inhale and reach up and overhead. Exhale and swan dive forward, knees soft, fold over, arms and head dropping down. Let's walk our hands out again and lower ourselves into a plank position. Pushing the hands down, strong through the arms. Your knees could come down here if that's better for you, or you can just hold with knees up. Let's take a breath here. And then we're going to try some push-ups. So you could do this with your knees off the floor. You could lower your knees down. We're going to come all the way down to belly. And then we're going to push up and let's take the hips back. So we're going to rock forward and lower down and then push up and take the hips back. So that could be with knees on the floor, or we could lower down with the knees off the floor and push up and then bend the knees and take the hips back. So a few more like this, on your knees or off your knees, taking the hips back, rocking forward, lowering down, pushing up, taking the hips back. Let's do two more. Rocking forward, lowering down, pushing up, taking the hips back. This time as you come down, let's stay all the way down. And we're going to bring our forearms underneath us. Let's measure up elbow to fingertip, fingertip to elbow. And then we're going to slice down with the forearms to lift the chest. We'll curl the toes under, lift the hips up, and you could have your knees down on the floor, or you could lift your knees off the floor. Let's just try to hold this for a while. Now you could have your knees alternating down and up, or one knee dropping and one knee lifting. We're just going to hold and breathe. So feel your breath flowing in and down. Allow the breath to release and empty. Let's take a few more breaths here. If it's bothering your low back, create a little more engagement. Maybe lift the hips just a half an inch higher. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release down. Chest comes down. Let's let our head rest on our hands, relaxing the upper body, just surrendering into that wonderful feeling of letting go of that plank position, appreciating the strength that you had to do that movement. Resting, breathing. You could even shake your hips a little side to side if you want to free up some tension that might have crept into your low back there. And then when you're ready, press the front of your hips down, press the tops of your feet down, and then lift your legs up, reaching back through your toes. Bring your heels in towards your midline, let your heels touch, and then separate your legs. Do that again. Draw the heels together, and then separate them. One more time. Draw the heels in, and separate the legs, and then let the legs relax down. Let's bring our hands next to chest, push ourselves up and back, sit back into child's pose. Let's do extended child's pose here, arms out in front, forehead releasing down. Breathe in and out here. When you're ready, lift your head up. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. One more time. Breathe in and out here. This time we'll look forward, walk our feet up towards our hands, plant our feet beneath us. And when we're ready, we'll sweep our arms out, inhale and rise up, reach up. And exhale, arms down at our sides. Great. Okay, I'm gonna adjust my camera again a little bit. And we're gonna stand and let's pick up some weights here. You could do your heavier weights or your lighter weights. I think I'm gonna pick up my 5-pounders. And we're gonna warm up the ankles a little bit. So just with your feet right beneath you, take a moment, feel the weight in your hands, feel your feet on the floor, feel yourself standing up nice and tall, chest nice and open, back nice and broad, back of the neck long. Just maybe close your eyes if you're comfortable and just feel the breath moving in your body as you're standing tall. All right. So we're going to do heel raises. We're going to lift the heels up and lower them down. So just waking up the lower legs here and building strength in those muscles that support us as we balance. So let's, as we're doing these heel raises, bring your arms into a cactus position. And as the heels come up, let's bring our arms forward. And as the heels lower, we'll open the arms out. So we're just doing a little chest work here and opening the arms out. So heels come up, arms come forward, heels go down, arms open out. And squeezing the chest muscles here. Lifting the heels, squeezing elbows in, lowering the heels, opening out. Do a few more like this. Squeeze and lower. Squeeze and lower. All right, let's lower our arms. Maybe separate your feet slightly wider. Toes might angle out just a bit. We're going to do some squatting. So as we sit back into a squat, you want to look down and see knees tracking over toes. So we don't want to be knees dropping in. Arms down at your side. And then we're going to straighten up. If we straighten up, let's just curl. We're going to sit into a squat, straighten up and curl. Sit into a squat. Now, as we straighten up and curl, let's add a heel raise and a press. And then we'll sit into our squat. We'll straighten up and curl. We'll lift the heels and press up. Sit into our squat. Curl up. Lift the heels, press up. Yeah, let's do a few more of these. You decide how far down to squat, how high to bring your heels up. Feeling your breath. We can breathe in as we go up. Exhale, and we go down. Waking up the legs. Waking up the shoulders. Let's do a few more. Next time you come down, just lower your arms. Great. So next we're going to do a lunge. So if you stand with your feet hip distance apart, let's take one leg, maybe your left leg, your right leg, maybe your right leg, back. And you still have your feet hip distance apart. And we're up on the ball of the back foot. So let's try bending the front knee forward and straightening it, keeping the back leg fairly straight here. So we're bending the front knee and straightening it. Let's lift the arms up as we do that. Bending the front knee and straightening it. Bending the front knee and straightening. Bending and straightening. Bending and straightening. Now, as you bend your front knee, I want you to also bend your back knee. So the back knee is going down. And same thing, we're going to lift and then we're going to lower. We're going to lunge and lift and lower the arms. Back knee goes down and lower. Lift and lower. Let's do 4 more. And 3 more. Really press that front foot into the floor. And last one. Great. So now back leg is straight. Front knee is going to bend forward. And now we're going to lean forward, dropping our arms down beneath us. And we're just going to, again, lift out to the side. But now we're targeting the muscles in the back of the shoulder. Because we're lifting up away from the floor. So lift straight out to the side and lower down. Let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Great. All right. Straighten the front leg, straighten up, and we're just going to step that back foot in. So maybe you decided the weight you picked up is a little too light or a little too heavy. You could switch up your weight now if you want to make a modification. And then we're going to take a big step back with the other foot. Big step back, lift that heel up. Feet are still hip distance apart. We're going to start by bending the front knee forward and straightening it. And as we do that, we're going to lift the arms. So as you lift the arms, your palms could be facing down. So bending the front knee, back leg is staying straight initially. Now let's bend the back knee down. Front knee bends as well. And lunging this way here. So as your arms go up, can you keep your jaw relaxed? We don't want the shoulders shrugging up. The shoulders stay down. You're lifting from the upper arms, and you can even try and recruit a little strength from the upper back. So try not to lift from the neck or the jaw. Try to focus on upper arms, upper back. 2 more. Last one. Great. Now, back leg stays straight, front knee is going to bend, and we're going to lean forward. So your arms kind of drop down out of your shoulders. And then we're just going to lift out to the side and lower down. Lift straight up and lower down. So the muscles in the back of the shoulders are weaker than those big, strong deltoids at the top of the shoulders. So let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Good job. All right, straighten up and step your back foot in. Nice work. So for this next one, I'm going to switch out to my lighter weights. You could use, if you find that your arms are fatigued and the weight is a bit much right now, you could even do this without a weight. So come into a wide stance. Let's turn the right foot in and turn the left foot out. And initially, we're just going to start bending and straightening the front knee. So let's check that that knee is tracking out in the direction of the toes, not dropping inwards a little bit. All right, so let's reach the arms out, and you could have your palms forward, your fists forward. So this front arm is just going to stay as it is. The back arm, as you bend the knee, I want you to just hug your elbow into your waist and then open that arm out. Hug that elbow into your waist and open that arm out. Hug the elbow in and open the arm out. So again, even without a weight in your hand, this could be great because you're kind of working on squeezing in to the upper back. So the weight isn't as important as the action in the upper back, in the mid back. Squeezing that elbow in and opening out. One more like that. And then you can relax your arms. We're going to do one more action with this same leg movement. So this arm's going to go up now. And as the knee bends, I want you to pull down and then press up. So thinking more about the pulling down action, elbow into your hip, and then pressing up. This front arm could be out or down as you do this. But the action is pulling the elbow down and pressing up. Imagine you're pulling down and in, like you're pulling on a chain. Pull it down and in, press it up, pull it down and in. Let's do 2 more. Pull it down and in. Last one. Pull it down and in. Reach it up and then relax your arms. Nice job. We'll turn our feet forward and then we'll turn this back foot in, turn the front foot out. Legs are nice and wide here, feet are nice and wide. As you bend the knee tracking out right over the toes. So again, arms go out and the front arm's going to stay, the back arm's going to pull in and open forward or open out. Pull in and open out. Can you squeeze into your waist? Squeeze that elbow in. Yeah, as the knee bends, you squeeze in. Great, let's do a few more like this. So you're working the arms and you're squeezing into the waist. Squeeze in and squeeze in. Great. All right, relax your arms for a moment. Take this back arm up now. And as the knee bends, you're gonna pull down and press up. Pull down and in and press up. This arm could just be holding out to the side or relax down, whichever is better for you. Let's do 4 more. Pull down and in and press up. Pull down and in. Yeah, 2 more. Pull down and in. And pull down and in. Nice work. All right, relax your arms. Turn your feet forward. We're just going to walk our feet in. And we can let go of the weights now. Great. All right. Oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning of class that I would like you to have a chair nearby or a couch, or you could use the wall too. But I wanted us to use something. So you may need to take your little laptop and move somewhere else. Ideally, you can have a chair or a couch, something that we can use to put our hands on, and then we're eventually put our heels on it too. So if you can get close to a chair or a table, or if you didn't have it, you could just use the wall for this. We're going to stand with our feet hip distance apart, facing whatever it is we're using, and we're going to place the weight in one leg and swing the other leg back, tip the hips forward, and just let our hands come onto our chair or table or whatever it is. And then we're going to come back up. So same leg, we're going to hinge forward as the leg extends back. We're just going to hold on to whatever we're holding on to and then come back up. Let's do a few more on this leg. Swing the leg back, tip forward, and then come back up. So we're working on the strength of the balancing leg, working on balance and strength here. Let's do a few more on this leg, tipping forward and then coming back up. Really ground that standing leg, that foot into the floor. 2 more here. Tip forward, leg goes back and come up. Last one here. Tip forward, lift the leg and come up. Great, let's do the other leg. So weight on the other foot. As we swing the leg back, we tip forward, get as parallel to the floor as you can here, and then bring yourself back up. Tip forward, swing the leg back, get nice and parallel, and then come back up. Tip forward, swing. Thinking about grounding through that standing leg as you lean forward and coming back up. We'll do a few more on this leg. Feeling the strength in the standing leg, the grounding through that standing foot. 2 more here. Tip forward, swing the leg back, bring yourself up. Last one, swing the leg back, tip forward, and come back up. Nice work. Good job. All right, we're going to make our way back down onto the floor, and we're going to use the chair. So again, if you don't have a chair, you could do this with your heels on the wall. But we're going to come down close to the chair so that when we lie back, we can have our heels on the chair, and we want to have our hips under our knees. So if you're further away, scooch forward so your heels are on the chair, your hips are under your knees. Separate your heels so that they're hip distance apart. And you could have your arms at your side. So we're going to do a bridge pose with heels on the chair. So we're just going to kind of, if you press your heels into the chair, you're going to feel your hamstrings turn on a little bit, and then use that action to start to peel your hips up off the floor, bringing the weight up kind of to the middle or the upper back into a sort of a modified chair bridge pose. And then we're going to lower ourselves down, rolling down slowly, gradually, incrementally until you're down. And then just relax for a moment, take a breath. And then again, press your heels into the chair, start to curl your spine up off the floor, lift up into your bridge, and then lower yourself back down. So maybe you can feel those hamstrings working as you do this work. Let's do it one more time with both heels on the chair. Roll your spine up off the floor, take a breath, and then exhale and roll your spine back down. All right, so you could keep doing it with both heels on the chair or try lifting one heel off the chair and do the same thing, just using the strength of one leg. Roll yourself up and roll yourself down, and then change legs. Put your other heel on the chair, lift the other leg up, roll yourself up, and then roll yourself down. Change legs, heel on the chair, other heel comes up, roll yourself up, and roll yourself down. Change leg, heel on the chair, other leg comes up, roll yourself up, roll yourself down. And last time through, roll yourself up, roll yourself down, and again, roll yourself up and roll yourself down. Nice job. All right, we're going to kind of push ourselves away from the chair, kind of move the chair away so that you have a little more room. Straighten your legs out, reach your arms overhead. Just find enough space that you can stretch out here. Nice big breath, reaching out through your hands, through your toes. Take a big breath in. Let your breath go. Just let your elbows relax. Let your feet flap open. Nice. All right. Let's start to slide one leg in. Bring your hands around and grab onto that knee. So you're hugging one knee in close. The other leg is loose and heavy on the floor. And then take that bent knee, straighten that leg up, hold behind the thigh. Press your leg into your hands so it's a little further away. Flex your foot and point your toes. Do that again. Flex your foot and point your toes. And then relaxing the foot that's up in the air, take the bottom leg and place that foot on the floor. Take this top leg, bend the knee, and drop that ankle just above that bottom bent knee. Then we're going to pick the bottom foot up off the floor to bring the legs in. And we're going to reach through with one arm between the legs, reach around with the other arm, grab the back of the thigh, flex your feet and pull in here. We're getting a nice stretch into the hip on that top leg. You can just be pulling in here. You could also be doing this without holding on if that's better for you. You could take the legs an inch or two to one side and take a breath. And then back to center, an inch or two to the other side and take a breath. And back to center. Pull them in a little closer perhaps for one more breath. And then release your bottom foot and release your top foot. Now, let's take the other leg and hug it in, sliding that first leg out. Let it just relax into the floor. As you hug that knee in, go ahead and take that leg up into the air. Reach around, grab onto the back of the leg, press the leg into your hand so your arms are more straight. Flex your foot. Point your toes. Nice big deep point. Do that again. Big deep flex. Toes pull down, heel presses up. Nice big point. And then relaxing the top foot, take the bottom leg and place that foot on the floor. Tape this top leg and drop the ankle just below the bottom knee. We'll pick the bottom foot up off the floor to bring the legs in. We could reach through and around and grab that thigh that's further away, flexing the feet. Let's hug in. And you might just hold here. You might gently take the legs just ever so slightly to one side and breathe in and out. Back to center. You might take them just an inch or so to the other side and breathe in and out. Back to center, maybe bringing the legs even closer for one more breath. And then that bottom leg can rest down, top leg can rest down. All right, feet off the floor now. As your knees come in, I want you to take the outside of your arms and use them to open your knees apart, right? So you're in a bent knee, open straddle here. Now your arms are going to continue to press out, but your legs are going to press in. So the legs are going to try to come back to center, but your arms are pressing your knees apart. So there's work in both directions. Your arms are pushing out, your knees are pressing in, and then let your knees start to win. So their knees are moving closer and closer together against the resistance of your arms. So you're asking those inner thighs to really work. Let your knees come up above your hips and then press them open again. So let your arms win and your legs drop open. And then same thing, let your knees press in as your arms are pushing them out. So there's a lot of work of the inner thighs resisting against the arms pushing out. But slowly, gradually, your legs win and your arms are closer together. One more time, your arms push out and then your knees press in. And it's a lot of work to bring the knees together because your arms are pushing them apart. But eventually they make their way in. Then reach around and give them a hug. And your knees together, bring them close to your body. And then we're going to do the opposite. So your hands are going to be on the outside of the legs, and the legs are going to push out against the resistance of your arms pressing in. So your arms have a little less leverage here. Your legs might be stronger, but it's work for your knees to press out into your hands, but eventually your legs win and they get out nice and wide, and then your hands will push your knees together. And then again, can you press your knees apart, resisting with the strength of your arms against that opening up? And then push your knees together. One more time, knees push open, your hands resist. And then your hands can push your knees back in. Great. Maybe give them one last hug, one little sway. And then let's let both knees drop all the way over to one side. Stacking one knee on top of the other. We'll take the bottom arm out in front and place the top hand on top of the bottom hand. And then we're going to bring our knees up nice and close to our elbows. And then let's take this top arm and reach it up and reach it back behind us. Turning to look at that arm that is rotated around behind. And we'll take a few breaths here in this clamshell twist. Nice full deep breath in and down. Nice full release of breath all the way out. Breathing in positive energy, positive light, beauty, goodness, kindness, appreciation. And anything that you're holding on to that's negative, that's uncomfortable, breathe it out, let it go. One more round of breath here. Then let that arm from behind come back up and come back down. Let's roll onto our back and roll all the way to the other side so that the knees stack one on top of the other. The bottom arm is out in front of you. Place your top hand right on top of your bottom hand, then bring your knees up close to your elbows. Take that top arm up and reach it back behind you, opening up as you reach back. Look at that arm behind you. And again, use the fullness of your breath to not only create movement all through the trunk, the ribs, the side waist, the fascia, but also to breathe in positive energy and release anything dark, heavy, burdensome, bothersome. Let it go. Deep breaths here, in and out. After your next breath is emptied out, let that arm from behind come back up. Let it come back down. We're going to roll onto our back, bring our feet down, and we're going to start to transition to our final relaxation. So if it's cool or chilly where you are, you might want to put on a layer, put on some socks. If it's more comfortable with a pillow or something under your head, grab onto that. A lot of us are more comfortable with a little support under the knees. So take a few moments to set yourself up to be as comfortable as you can. And then when you're ready, you can lie back. And we'll spend these final few minutes here just allowing. So rather than directing or telling or controlling our bodies in any way, we're just going to allow our body to soften and settle and to relax into a very natural, easy state. A state of letting go and letting be. Just allowing ourselves to rest back. Allowing ourselves to let go of any clinging, any holding on. Slowly, gradually moving our way into a state of ease, openness, and relaxation. The lower body relaxes and settles into the floor. Let the upper body, shoulders and arms release into the floor. Palms softening and opening. And let the weight of the head release back, allowing all the facial muscles to soften away from the skull. Freeing up the jaw, the eyes, the forehead. Just let yourself be as you are now, resting here, light and free. Clearing the slate. Allowing the body to find that very natural, easy, effortless, innocent, open state. So often we carry our burdens with us. We can be weighed down by the heaviness, the challenges of our lives. This is such a wonderful opportunity to lighten our load, to connect with how it feels to be easy and relaxed, to free ourselves up. And when we're ready, we might have to pick up something and carry it for a while, but it'll be a little easier for having given ourselves this little break. So perhaps you'd like to stay here longer resting, and you're welcome to close your screen and stay as long as you like. If you're ready to come out, you might open your eyes, bring your feet to the floor, roll to your side and take a little time to transition. And then if you're ready, you can push up to sitting. Find a way to sit comfortably. Maybe bring your hands to heart. Connect with that deep center of you, that place where love and kindness and your inner beauty shines. And from my heart to yours, peace. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm gonna stop the recording.